Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful Rabbit Hole Lore and Frame, the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. Recently, I launched a Patreon, and I really have been meaning, since I did that, to make a video explaining why, talking about like my situation, what's going on, why I decided to go against my principles and launch a Patreon. The issue, I think, is fundamentally that I feel very creatively stifled by the situation I was put into. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm working like 70-hour weeks, trying to put aside money for like the future and stuff like that, doing all this stuff while doing all this, like all the novel writing stuff, all the game critique stuff, all the YouTube stuff, the website stuff, like on the side. Like it's essentially a hobby for me, like a hobby that does make me money, but it is the thing that I'm very passionate about. The writing is something that's very, very important to me, something that I really should be focusing on a lot more. But because of my work schedule, because of the lifestyle that I was forced into, I find myself more and more kind of very dissatisfied with the output of work I've been doing. I have felt that the recent batch of novels, Lauren Frey, Cruel and Beautiful, and Rabbit Hole, they all had like a lot of problems that really should have been rectified by a lot more if I had a lot more time. Of course, I feel like I've been trying to put these out there. I've been trying to build an audience. I have been trying to make these books as good as possible. And there's always that like feeling that like, yeah, nothing you do is ever going to be perfect and you should just release it anyway. But I have been trying to stick to a schedule. I have been trying to release this stuff year after year. I have been trying to make it better. And in a lot of ways, I do think that is paying off for me. I am building an audience. I do have readers. I do have fans. In spite of what some people may tell you, yeah, there are people who enjoy my work. And as a result of that, I feel like in the foreseeable future, what I would want to do ideally is move away from like the YouTube gaming drama stuff and move towards writing stuff. Like that is what I think I want to do. I see YouTube as just a cesspit of just ignorant people coming together to just kind of attack each other really for no reason, really just to make money. And it's something that more and more I really want to distance myself from. I'm not interested in talking about why I don't like PlayStation for the rest of my life. Okay. I'm not interested in talking about like video games for the rest of my life, period. Like I am moving on from that. I am trying new and interesting things, getting new hobbies, finding new interests, like forming new relationships, doing new things with my life. I just don't feel any sort of desire to continue defending Nintendo the way I have. And a big part of that is because this channel was founded on this idea that like Nintendo was being victimized by a corrupt gaming press in favor of promoting really terrible brands like Xbox, PlayStation, and Valve, right? Nintendo was the best out of all of them, but it was being attacked by its competitors, like using the media as a kind of cudgel, right? That was kind of why I was so aggressive about like being pro Nintendo 10 years ago, because I saw this for what it was. I called it out like very early on, as early as like 2009, 2008, I think. You know, I was acknowledging all these issues with gaming journalism, and now, years later, due to my and other fans' efforts, like it is becoming mainstream. A lot of like low-level Nintendo YouTubers, people who like spent their entire careers like attacking Nintendo, people like Arlo, for example, like they're just not taken seriously in certain circles, in a big part because of people like me calling them out. And in a sense, I feel like in the future that feeling is only going to grow. I think the big corrupt gaming journalists and gaming YouTubers are just going to like continue declining in popularity and irrelevancy until like nobody takes them seriously. Nobody watches or really holds their opinions as valuable at all. And because of that, I no longer feel it's necessary to continue making YouTube content like covering gaming topics. I don't think the industry as is is in as bad of a place as it was 10 years ago. I don't. Like, Nintendo Switch is dominating. We're getting all these great new IPs, all these great new games, not just from Nintendo, but from a wide range of different developers. It feels like in a lot of ways the dark age brought on by like the advent of HD gaming, which put a lot of smaller developers out of business, like that is past us now. We are seeing developers adapt. We're seeing them like come up with new interesting ideas. Like, true, a lot of classic gaming IPs are dying, but in their place, we're getting like a lot of based like original stuff that is clearly influenced by a lot of these classic franchises. Like, I find it so strange that people are actually upset about Final Fantasy 16 being not very good when we have Octopath Traveler, when we have Bravely Default, when we have like Dragon Quest, like all these great alternative franchises that clearly are taking influences from all these like classic Final Fantasy games. Why would you ever? You don't necessarily need to attach yourself to a brand, so to speak. And I feel about that so strongly. I suspect that in the future there might be a time where like I might actually go against Nintendo. I've kind of been leaning towards that recently, where I feel like if Nintendo caves into like the ESG demands and starts making their games woke, which they seem to be like leaning into a little bit with like the unattractive character designs and like the choose your style stuff, like I will be calling them out on that. And I have been calling them out on it. And I think that going forward, I will not want to be in a position where I will have to defend Nintendo from people who actually have valid criticisms of them. I have no interest in defending Nintendo if they are actually doing anything wrong. The thing is, for the past 10 years, they haven't done anything wrong. Or for the past like 40 years, their entire existence, as a gaming company, Nintendo hasn't really done anything wrong, but they are a corporation. They are a conglomerate. That is not going to be the case forever, realistically speaking. Just look at Disney and what they've turned into. Like, I like Nintendo for what they are now, but in the future we may see them like go down this path of just becoming worse and worse, putting out like less and less quality games. Now, I don't think that's going to happen soon, but at the same time, I feel like, as an individual, and I think everyone should do this, I do think that you should be picking up new hobbies. You should be looking into like moving away from consuming so much media and kind of like enjoying your life for what it is instead of like revolving it around a video game company. And I feel that way very strongly. And as a result of that, I I do want to more thoroughly pursue my other interests. I do want to pursue writing. I do want to like, talk about, consume read more books. I do want to like learn more history and go like more in depth, like, flesh out my own universe, right? The Cody Verse, as we're calling it right now. Again, it has its own name, but I haven't confirmed it yet because, again, I don't feel like, the novels have reached that point where I can kind of talk about like the themes or like the ideas of like what I want to get across, right? So for now, it's the Cody Verse. If like I had a reasonable amount of Patreon support, I would be able to put like significantly more time into developing this universe and making it like really interesting and unique. I find it very difficult to believe that those of you who like stuff like No More Heroes or Bayonetta wouldn't be a big fan of what I'm trying to do. Again, I had to like emphasize this. Like stuff like Bayonetta was a huge influence on me. No More Heroes, Jaw of the Dragon is a direct like I consider it like to be directly inspired by No More Heroes. I've been very vocal about this. I'm very excited about the project. I'm really excited to share it with you all, but because of like the hectic schedule, because of like how much stress I'm going through right now, with these 70-hour work weeks, like it's not getting worked on nearly as much as it really should. And I am thinking about it all the time. I've had the entire outline like for this one right in front of me. It's an easy novel to write. Right? Like it's not that hard. Like I just need more free time. And there's nothing more I can cut back on. I'm tired of like cutting back on things that I enjoy, things I want to do because, oh, I have to work. Like, no, I do think that it is time to start taking this writing stuff more seriously and looking into like additional ways to generate revenue. And I do think Patreon being directly supported by fans is a very good way to do that. Now, this isn't going to be like you are getting actual content from this Patreon. You are getting actual books. I've already like demonstrated like the quality you can expect from me, and I can guarantee that the books will get better. If you enjoyed Eye of the Dragon, the first novel in the Order of the Dragon trilogy, you're going to enjoy Jaw of the Dragon more. I think it's safe to say that you will enjoy Jaw of the Dragon more. I will be like creating like new novels. I will be coming up with new ideas. I do have lots of ideas like period. I've already planned out like my I'm in the I really want to start outlining my next novel, which I think I've already decided what I want to work on next. uh, I would really like to take the time to do that, but without your support, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to do so. Now, the thing is, and I do think this is important. No matter what happens, I'm going to stick with what I'm doing. Like, I don't care if I get like 0 patrons. Okay, the books are still coming out. This is just a way for like super hardcore fans to support me if you want to. If you really enjoy my work and want to see more of it, please consider donating. I'm not saying you have to, but consider it because you are going to get great new stuff every couple of months, assuming I actually can find the time to work on the things that I really want to work on. I'm very excited about Jaw of the Dragon. I'm very excited about like future projects. I'm very excited about like my career in general. But it the way things are looking now, it seems like I desperately, desperately, desperately need more support. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my spiel. I'm really sorry that it's had to come to this. I wish there was another way. I'm trying my best, but it's becoming. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. But I will continue. I will continue writing. I will continue delivering new content. I will be doing what I have been doing. I I will continue supporting you as I always have.